Hello everyone, thanks for joining me again for another video. So today we're going to be looking at one more piece of data visualization, if you will. And this thing that I'm about to show you is at this stage of your mathematical career and learning will be one of the more useful, if not the most useful tools for a lot of the calculations we're going to be working through in the following videos. So this is what we're going to call a frequency distribution table. So this thing here, sorry, there's birds outside. Hopefully it's not too distracting, but I'm going to draw up this table in a minute. And this table is quite useful, for drawing our histograms and polygons, because it shows everything we need to know. But it is also a very clean, nice looking alternative, a table alternative to a big data set like the one I've drawn here, the one that we've used for a previous video. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this, and you'll see it's a very concise table, and we're going to explain the elements of this table. But some of the elements to it, it'll only become sort of important, like, sorry, it'll only become sort of apparent to you how important it is once we look into calculating mean, median, mode, and range. So taking this data set here, I'm going to draw my, oops, sorry, bit of technical issues there, but I'm going to draw here my frequency distribution table. I'm just going to write distrib for short, because you're not here to watch me write words out. You are here for the maths. So we're going to get cracking straight into that. So let's get a shape here, and I'm going to use this for my table. Now, let's look at some of the elements of my table here. So I will have, I'm going to break this up into 3 columns, and I'm going to be using the data set that we've worked through so far. But I have my elements here. So I have my score, which in the context of this is, for example, the score out of 20 on a test. And I'm going to write in this column my score. And it's customary with these type of tables to just call the score X. X just representing sort of any number. So our score column is going to be X. We have our frequency column, which we're going to call F. And we also have an FX column, which is a column which multiplies our score by its resulting frequency. So the FX is one of these mysterious columns. If you just bear with me through this video as I do all the calculations, it'll all become apparent when we start calculating our means, our medians, our modes, etc. Especially for our mean, for our average. This FX is pretty critical and makes our life so much easier. But we're just going to lay down the groundwork here, and I promise it'll become clear in the next video why we include this column. So I'm going to construct this table here, And I'm going to write all my scores from my data set. So let's zoom out a bit. So the lowest score I have 3. I have a 5, 6. And once again, we're working in ascending order, going down the rows. I have a 9. I have a few 12s. I have a 13. Let me make this table a bit bigger. Oh no. Please let me edit the square. I don't think it's going to let me, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. I'll draw a few more rows here. Sorry, I know how dodgy and probably unprofessional this looks, but you'll have to bear with me. It doesn't really matter how pretty it is as long as we get the concepts. So that's messy. We have 17 and we have 18 here. Now, this is our table. And I'll close this off. There. Here. And we're good. So we have all of our scores written here. And our scores go from 3 all the way up to 18. And in the same way that we did our graph before, I'm just going to, in this table, just write out the frequency for each of these scores. How many times each occurs. So I've added another 3 to this data set from the one you may remember from the last video. But so now my frequency of my 3 is going to be 4. My score of 5, its frequency is 1. My score of 6, its frequency is 1. 9 has a frequency of 1. 2 has a frequency of 3. 12, sorry, has a frequency of 3. 13 occurs once. 15 occurs once. 17 occurs once. And 18 occurs 2 times. Now, I have that there. And I'm going to calculate my FX column now. So we get this FX column just by multiplying my score and my frequency. So 3 getting multiplied by 4 gives us 12. 5 by 1 gives us 5. 6 by 1 gives us 6. 9 by 1 gives us 9. 12 by 3 gives us 36. 13 by 1 get 13. 15. 17. And 18 by 2 gives us 36 again. Cool. So now that we've drawn all the important elements, I'm going to add a little sub column here. Well, a sub row, I should say, containing my 2 columns. And I'm going to just write here, this is my total. And in maths, it's common we use this symbol here. This little, it's like an M, a capital M turned on its side. This is the Greek letter sigma. So this just tells us that this is a sum of things. So our row here, this extra row, is a summing row, a total row, in which we are going to sum all of our frequencies and all of our FX values. So I'm gonna just write these through. You can do the maths on this, but just to save time, I'm gonna write in all the numbers now. Okay, so here are my totals, and sorry to any of the viewers, I realized that we actually had 2 15s. Hence this number here will be 30. I just realized that while I was making all the calculations. Now, what we have here is a frequency distribution table. This is it in its final form. Now, all it does is, in a similar way to all the graphs, it just takes each score and each number that score is, puts it in a column, next to its respective frequency, as well as a total sum of frequency, next to a column which multiplies the frequency by the score with an extra row added for a total. Now, I'm very sorry, but I'll have to leave it here because breaking up the videos, it'll just be too long of a video to go into all of the calculations. But if you have an idea on how to construct these frequency distribution tables, I promise its significance will be apparent very soon. So in the next video, we'll define all of these measures that we talked about in the introductory video. So our mean, median, mode, and range. And then we will jump back to our frequency distribution table and we will look at why it is significant and how much easier it makes looking for and locating and calculating all of these measures in statistics. So I'll see you in the next video and we'll tackle all of that there.